What's up, North County? We got your backstage pass with all things music in the North County and beyond. I'm Sean Logan, and today on the show, we have local music legends Kelly Atwell and Erik McCormack. Hey guys, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. But before we get down that road, let's talk about your musical journey, where it all kind of started and began, Kelly.
I started playing piano at my mom's house, and my sister was throwing me some guitar chords, and it kind of started that way. And then I met a mutual friend of Erik's, friend Robert Zimmerman, and I wound up at 16 moving into his house, renting a room from his mom. So we were in high school at the time, and we were going to do a battle of the bands, mock rock, and we started building our instruments. And then we thought, this is stupid. Why don't we just buy our own instruments and play them? And so we ditched that whole mock rock thing and started writing songs.
Oh, cool.
Now, mind you, the songs sucked. There was a little talent, but we thought the songs were cool at the time. Looking back, it was like, oh God. But my friend Robert, we had these songs written, and I said, we need to take the next step and get a drummer. And I said, do you know any drummers? And he says, yeah, I know a kid I used to live next door to, but he lives in Atascadero. We were in Cayucas. So I said, well, what's his number? And he said, I said, give him a call.
466-4142.
So I get the number and I call him, just cold call, like I don't care.
Right.
So I call him up and I'm like, hey, you know this guy Robert? And he's like, yeah. And I said, I'm starting a band with him and we're looking for a drummer. And he told me, you're a drummer. So I go to Erik's house, and just Erik and I, and we roll through these songs, and it's 90 degrees in this room. We're both just sweating. And at the end of the hour or two we were playing, I said, well, that's all I got. We played the songs like 5 times.
This is 1994, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, yeah.
No, pardon me.
84.
84.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
date us, why don't we?
That's what I was going to say. I was negative. No.
So, yeah. So we finished these songs, and I'm packing my stuff up. And I'm like, what do you think? You want to be in a band with me? He's like, yeah. Let's do this. So I would drive to Erik's house every weekend, and he would play baseball at the baseball field there in Atascadero off 41.
Okay.
So they would have their baseball games there, and I would pull up in my truck with my hair down to my waist, and driving a brand new truck, and people were like, "Who's this clown?" And I
would
would
in
wait
the back of the trucks watching the games, screaming, "Yeah!"
And
my heavy metal friends.
wait for Erik, pick him up from the game, go to his house, grab his drum set, and jet back to Cayucas and hang out with him all weekend. And there were a few times, his parents love me now, but there were a few times when we'd be pulling out of the driveway and they'd just be looking at me. Like, who's this guy taking our kid off? I'm a few years older than he is. So what were you, like 16 at the time?
No, I was 14.
14. So, and I was like 19. So,
Yeah.
it was like, I was this old guy taking their kid off somewhere. So we started that, and that little project actually didn't go anywhere either. We did a bunch of house parties where we just got drunk and played for people.
Kelly, I was 14. Mom and Dad might be watching this.
I said I got drunk. So they're no fools.
I know.
So we did that for a little bit, and then we had got a show for the 4th of July, but Erik and I were the only two to show up for it.
Oh man!
So when that happened, I was just like, I'm done. I'm gonna go to other journeys. So I ran around and played with different people, and then I met a guy named Brian Baragona, and he and I started a band called Crash Landing, and then that band had the ability to do shows for like the California Conservation Corps and stuff like that. We got a little, I don't know if it was a contract or what it was, but they just booked us out for like 5 or 6 shows where we would go play for the California Conservation Corps. And we were like, right, then they paid us good, so we were like, right on, cool. And that show led us to opening up for Devious. So when we opened up for Devious, their manager and the bass player, Darren Coombs, came to me.
Rest in peace, Dagger.
They were like, yes, rest in peace, Dagger. We want you in our band. And they already had a singer. And I said, well, you already have a singer. And they said, well, watch the show and you'll see why we want you. And I watched the show, and yeah, they needed a singer, you know. So I joined that band, and I did that for, I don't know, roughly 4 years. And then that kind of went to the wayside. And I did a couple other projects, but I didn't perform any other time after that till I moved to New York City a few years later. And I moved to New York City in 2000, and 2001, I think. And I joined a band there, Bradley Torn. And once I joined Bradley Torn, we wrote one EP and then played all around, you know, New York State, you know, Manhattan and Staten Island and such. And we went to go start writing the next one, and the writing was, the first one was really good, but the second one just seemed, Billy Graz was just on fire, and he was writing stuff that was just like, it was like, man, I could write to the old stuff, but this stuff is really cool.
Okay.
And he wrote a lot of it too, like lyrically and melodically, and so he was writing good stuff, I was writing good stuff, and but the other 2 members, they were getting really deep into Berkeley, you know, studying music, and the drummer was getting into other bands that were doing really cool things. Like one of the bands he was in did this thing called Hoodies for the Homeless, where they did shows to generate money to get hoodies for people that were homeless. Mm-hmm. So when he told me about that, I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. Can't fucking, you know, can't blame you for that.
Sure.
That's pretty cool. So so they did their thing, and Billy and I wound up finishing the CD in his kitchen.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
all the guitar parts and all that stuff. And then I tried to do the vocals, but I never finished them. So I brought my board. There's a big Tascam 2488. I brought that back, and I tried to I moved into Eric's house, and I tried to do my vocals in my bedroom at his house. But it was just so tough to go from the mic to the recorder, from the mic to, you know, and I couldn't concentrate to get a good take. Uh-huh. And so I found a guy named David Chalk, who was a local sound guy around here, and amazing. I found him, I was just cruising through Craigslist trying to find somebody that could help me put my CD out. And he had an ad saying, you know, music producer, sound guy, looking for people that need help. And I emailed him and sent him my number. He called me up, and I said, hey, I have this fully completed, you know, recording, but I need to do the vocals on it, and I can't do it on my own. And he said, I'll come over and listen. And he came over with his laptop, and he listened to it, and then he goes, would you be able to do it right now? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, and he popped open his laptop and plugged it into my computer, or into my board, and I basically recorded my tracks right there.
Nice.
And he every song he was like, oh dude, you're a one-take Jake, you know, you're just like nailing it. And I'm like, well, I've been working for these songs for a while, so now I know them, you know.
Right.
And so and mind you, I just met this guy.
Right.
So I finished my tracks, and he's like, what do you think? I'm like, I feel good. And this is all the tracks, like any backing vocals or, you know, dub tracks or anything like that. So I finish it, and we give a rough mix listen, and he's like, what do you think? I'm like, it sounds really cool. He goes, wait till I get done with it. And I'm like, okay. So he closed his laptop, and he goes to grab all the stuff, and then he grabs my case and throws it out and opens it up and grabs my board and puts it in. I'm like, oh, thanks for putting that in. He goes, putting it in, I'm taking it with me. And I was like, he goes, don't worry, I'll give you a call. And I was like, okay, so you're going to take my, $1,200 recording board. I don't even know you, But you know what? He called me like 3 days later and said to me, man, I think you're really going to like this. And like a week and a half after that, he called me up and said, I have your demo, your tape here, your CD. And I went to his studio and I listened to it and I was just like, oh, man, it's like way different than what I thought it would be, and it's way better. It's like, wow, he just made it sound really, really good. So so that was that, and I wasn't really doing anything. So fast forward to that being done, I am at Eric's house one night. My mom had just passed away, and I'm bummed out. He knows it. So he's playing down at, what was that?
Mosey's in a Tascadero.
Mosey's. So he goes, hey, I'm playing down at Mosey's. Roll down here and jump up on stage with me. I want people to hear you sing. And I was like, nobody wants to hear me sing. He goes, dude.
Well, I knew Gene was going to be there.
Once people hear you, they're going to dig you. And I said, all right. He goes, just come get out of your funk. And I said, okay. So I drive over there, and he introduces me to Gene Baker. So I meet Gene, and I'm saying, I know you. And he goes, yeah, you met me in 1992 at the Battle of the Bands in Santa Maria. We briefly met backstage. And I said, oh, yeah. And he goes, you were really good that day. And I was like, oh, yeah. He goes, whatever happened to that band? I said, whatever happens to any band.
Yeah.
So he goes, you want to jam? And I said, well, sure. And I was thinking like Eric was nowhere to be found. He was like, went and had a drink with this girl or whatever.
I was next door at Whiskey and June's.
So he was gone. So Gene hands me a couple set lists, and I'm looking at him like, this one. He's like, okay. So we did a whole set together.
Right there.
And then right then and there, I just met him. I shake his hand, nice to meet you, let's jam. And we did that set. And then as I was getting off stage, I was thanking everybody, thanks for allowing me to jump up. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a business card and hands it to me and says, here's my business card, give me a call. So I go over to the bar and I sit down and I order a water, and his wife, Lisa, comes up to me and she goes, puts her arm around me and she goes, did my husband give you a business card? And I said, yes, ma'am, he did. And she goes, yeah, throw it away. She reaches into her purse and she goes, this is the business card you want. This is his actual cell number. That's some bullshit number. So she hands me the card, and I call him the next morning, and I say, hey, this is Kelly Atwell. Do you remember me? And he goes, oh, yeah, I remember you. You're going to be my singer. And I was like, oh, right on. So he gave me an address to his studio, and I went out there, and originally it was him and I, Demi Solario and Damian Pampina.
Why don't we pause right there?
Sure.
Good place to pause. Why don't we hit a commercial, and then we'll be back with more info on Kelly.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram. and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
Okay, so Kelly, you were talking about the guys in the band at that time.
So Damian Pampina and Demi Solario are in the band, and we got in one rehearsal, and then I don't know what it was, some kind of conflict between those two. So like the next night or so, Gene called me and said, hey, I had to let those two guys go, you know, and they're all still friends. He just didn't want to deal with the conflict at the time. So he said, yeah, I had to let those guys go. I got two other guys showing up on Friday. So don't be shocked if you see two new guys. So I get in the studio, and it's none other than Johnny Punches, who I had played with in 1995. I'd recorded, I think, 2 demos with him. So I knew Johnny.
Right.
You know, Johnny's solid as a rock. You know, it was like, oh, Johnny, you know, so that was cool. And then I met Ray Rocha. So I meet Ray Rocha, great guy, great drummer, you know, just all around solid, you know, and that's the beginning of the actual Mean Gene band, because before then it was Mean Gene and the Portable Johns, or just Mean Gene. Uh-huh. So now with a singer, you know, Gene said, now that I have a singer, it's going to be the Mean Gene band. So it was like, okay, cool. So we played all over, right. You know, and then one time we were playing at Harry's, and the power went out, so we did an acoustic set. Nice. So we finished the acoustic set, and Gene's like, hey, my fingers are killing me, man, playing the acoustic for over an hour. He's like, you know, my fingers are killing me. I'm not used to, you know, playing acoustic for that long. And he goes, I just want to take a break from that thing. He goes, but we're going to have to get up here in a few minutes. And I said, well, maybe I could sit down and do a few songs, and that'll kind of, maybe the lights will come back on. And they did. So I sat down and I did like 3 of my own songs. So then that night when we were packing up, he goes, I didn't know you sang and played guitar. And I said, yeah, but not very good. He goes, you sounded good by me. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, and I didn't think anything about it. I get home and I got this email that's like 2 pages long about how he's gonna, I'm changing the band, you're gonna sing and you're gonna play guitar, and we're gonna do all these songs, and we're gonna get rid of all these songs and bring in all these new songs. And Gene's, you know, he's snappy, he's quick, he's a quick learner. Me, give me a song, I'll have it in 3 weeks. You know, like I'm a little slow. And I just looked at this list, and I was like, there's no way I can do this. I can't do that. So and my biggest thing was, I couldn't see myself playing guitar alongside a frickin' legend. The guy's, my description of Gene Baker is reckless abandon. He's just an animal.
Right.
And I can't play next to an animal where I'm just like, you know, it would not be good for the band at all. It would bring the band down. So I called him up and said, you know, I'm gonna have to bow out. And he's like, no, boo. That's his favorite thing to say when he's not happy. He's like, boo, why would you do that? And I'm like, dude, I just, you know, you've got such a great thing going. I don't want to be the guy that people go, they were great until that guy came along. You know, I don't want to be that guy. If I'm going to go out, I'm going out on top, you know, seriously. Yeah. And so I left the band, and then 2 nights later, I get a phone call, and it's Ray Rocha. Dude, did you seriously quit Gene Baker's band? I'm like, yeah. He goes, dude, nobody quits Gene Baker's band. I'm like, dude, he was asking me to do something I didn't feel good about doing, because it wouldn't have made the band any good. I said, the band's a great band. Why, you know, it's like pouring soy sauce on a ham sandwich, you know? It's like, don't do it, you know? And he goes, so you're totally out? And I said, well, yeah, you know, for now. He goes, well, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do anything. Dude, you need to be in an AC/DC tribute. He goes, you sing AC/DC like I've never heard, like for anybody that's just around here. And I said, I never really thought of it. And he goes, want to do an AC/DC tribute? And I said, dude, that's not going to go over. He goes, would you do it if it would go over? And I said, well, yeah. And he goes, I'll do everything. All you got to do is sing. You just got to sing. So there starts High Voltage. And I think it was Eric, Eric Iden.
Yeah, he was
So it
the
was
first.
Eric Iden. The guitar player was, oh God, I'm forgetting his name right now.
Josh.
No, Josh was
No.
the second guitar player.
I don't remember who it was either.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name right now. Anyways, so that was the band, and Eric. We did our first show actually opening up for Soundhouse, playing with Soundhouse at the ranch.
Yeah.
So we get ready to go on stage, and we had been talking last couple of rehearsals about really morphing into AC/DC. Not just being guys that played AC/DC, but guys that looked like AC/DC and guys that acted like AC/DC. And Eric Iden was like he wasn't having it. He's like, there's no way I'm dressing up in some uniform. I'm not wearing shorts like that. I'm not going out and buying an SG, because we're like, you got to get an SG. He's like, I'm not spending $1,200 on an SG. It's not happening. And, Ray being as vicious as he can be, do it or you're out. Okay, I'm out. So that's how we got Josh. And Josh was in the band for quite a while. When I was, now mind you, in this area of time, I go back and start playing for Gene again. So now I'm raised out of Gene's band at this point, and he's got Brian Monzel playing. No, actually Brian Monzel wasn't in yet. This was right when I started playing with Ronnie Montrose. So Gene introduces me to Ronnie Montrose at a show and says, we're gonna be Ronnie's backup band.
Nice.
So we play that whole first Montrose album, and the night that we did it, I'm in the parking lot talking to Ronnie, and I said, thank you so much. And I had a picture of my brother I wanted him to sign. He signed it. And then I said, thank you so much for allowing me to sing for you tonight. And he goes, don't worry, I'll give you a call. Okay, whatever that means.
Right.
I'm driving home, my girlfriend's just freaking out. Ronnie's gonna give you a call. He's gonna call you. I'm like, he's not gonna call me. A year and a month later, I get a phone call. It's Ronnie Montrose. What are you doing? I'm like, still playing for Gene? I'm like, yeah, I am. He goes, well, I called him and I told him I wanted to borrow you for a week. So I went and did like 3 shows with him. And I think that's when Ray actually left. Ray left Mean Gene Band because instead of using Ray, Gene used John Dittman. But only because John Dittman already knew Ronnie.
He was one of the original Portable Johns.
Yeah, he was one of the original Portable Johns. But he also knew Ronnie. He had auditioned for Ronnie. Ronnie had these revolving auditions, and I think I have 5 friends that were revolving auditions with Ronnie. And I was actually, me and my other friend were the only 2 people that in that time frame who auditioned for Ronnie that actually got to go do shows with him. All the other guys, it was like, audition for me. Nope, next. So we were the only 2, me and my friend Randy. Randy actually got the job. I played for Ronnie, and then I was like, I hope I get the job. And then he called me and said, hey, I think I'm gonna try you out, your friend Randy.
As the singer?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
but Randy's top shelf. He's like a fine liquor. The guy's just, his voice is not even correct. It's just like, fuck, how does that come out of that,
So where were
And he's
those
such a
shows
great
that
guy.
you played with Ronnie?
One was the Morro Bay
Music Fest.
Morro Bay Music Fest, and then the other one was
We got to open up that
the
show. That
second
was the
one
highlight.
wasn't. That was for 1,000 people, which was really cool.
Wow.
The one wasn't actually really a show. It was Ronnie took me, Stevie Brown, and Danny McNay up to the Plant, which is a recording studio in South
Record Plant?
You know the Plant?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to go to the Plant, and I got to see the whole thing. The guy that runs the Plant told me all these crazy stories. The room that we rehearsed in, there's another room right behind it with a big glass window. There's a room in there, and that room has this big wall that was painted with dots. Some guy dropped like 3 hits of acid and stayed in there for like 3 weeks and painted this big mural. And then Sly Stone. So in the live room, that's where Sly Stone's band would rehearse, where we were rehearsing. And then the other room where they had the painting was where Sly Stone would do his vocals. And the guy said he had a bed right here, and he laid in bed with 2 women and sang and watched his band.
That's Sly.
Yeah. And I said, oh, that's Sly right there.
If that's not rock and roll, I don't know what
yeah,
is.
yeah. And I got to see all the gold albums, Heart, Huey Lewis and the News, Chicago, just all these great bands that have played there. And it was surreal, really cool. And one of the coolest things was Ronnie and I went to a cigar shop at one point and bought a cigar real quick, and told me about this cigar shop. And we got a cigar and got this really cool cigar box. And later my cat pooped in it. But yeah, and then I had played with Ronnie, but the night before I played with Ronnie, I did a show for High Voltage at Slow Brew. So the show on, what was that, Sunday, right? Sunday afternoon?
I think Sunday, yeah.
So Saturday night, the night before that show, I did Slow Brew with High Voltage. And that night, I was just telling Eric this story. At that night, I was saying to them, we need to play some different songs. We need to play some more B-sides, stuff off of like Powerage and Ray, and then we're just like, no, we're just gonna play the housewife hits. We're just gonna do the Highway to Hell and the Back in Black. And I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this if we're just gonna do the same stuff all the time. So I wound up leaving High Voltage, and I was gone for quite a while. And of course, they wound up going back into the catalog. And when I rejoined, Ray was like, yeah, you were right. These songs are really good and people do love them. Mm-hmm. And I said, I wasn't trying to tell you what to do. I was just saying that, people want to hear TNT and they want to hear Sin City and they want to hear, that older stuff. And so I rejoined when they got this. He called me up and said, hey, would you be willing to rejoin High Voltage? And we kind of had it, we were kind of on the outs, so it was weird for me that he had called me and asked me, but they'd already been through like 4 singers since I left.
Wow.
And so he's like, hey, would you consider coming back? I got this kid that wants to play, and supposedly he's really good. And I said, I wouldn't do anything. I was like, you know what? Bury the hatchet. Yeah, let's do this. Let's rock. So I get to his house, and Alex Lacerda, that was the guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
So Alex is setting up, and this kid Josh is setting up, and Andy Mad Brit, he's setting up, and I go in, and I'm, hey, bros, do the old bro shakes and all that. And I introduced myself to this kid, and a really good guy, really, really nice guy. I think he was 23 or 24. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, holy shit, like he could be my grandson, And I go over to Ray, I'm like, is this guy solid? He goes, I think so. He plugged in, and it was not even funny. He was Angus. He was Angus. It's like, close your eyes, that's Angus. And then he's like, and I got the suit, and I got, this kid slept, breathed, ate AC/DC. He was AC/DC. And he played everything so note for note. and he was really, really good.
Nice.
Absolutely.
And
was.
unfortunately, I played, I think, for another year, and then I got really sick, and I had to leave the band. You know, this is when, you know, I've had medical problems all my life, but this was when my medications kind of stopped working, and I was starting to go south. There were a few times where my last few shows, like my last show at the fair, Ray had to tie my shoes. I couldn't literally lean over and tie my shoes. I'd get up and I'd be like, I couldn't breathe, you know. So it was rough. So that was, you know, for me that was pretty rough to be on stage and try to be pulling off, you know, 32 songs of AC/DC a night.
Right.
You know, so I had left the band, and then I started really getting into I had changed my diet, but I really changed my diet. Then I really got into working out, and they changed up my meds, and something just clicked, and I was like, oh, I'm back. And my doctor was like, you can go back to work, you can go back singing if you want. Because at first they were like, we don't want you singing. We don't want you passing out on stage and, you know, brain damage or something. So they allowed me to go back, and I started playing with Ronnie Apolt, Brian Monzel, and Tuan Chow.
Before we go any further,
Sure.
let's hit another break and we'll have more with Kelly.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
and Deanna
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
And we're back. So now you're in a band with Ronnie.
Well, it had actually been where I was kind of being just like a little band groupie where I would follow them around. They were the Probes, and they were a great band. So I'd follow them around to all the clubs and hang out and lie in wait for them to say, hey, Kelly, come on up. And I knew they would, so it was cool. You know, they wanted me to come up, and I wanted to come up. So one night they were playing Harry's, and went outside for a smoke break or something like that, and Tuan says to me, you know, you ought to join the band. And I'm like, oh, dude, I can't join your band. He's like, well, why not? You're already singing with us. And I said, you know, because it wouldn't be the Probes anymore. I'm like, right now it's Probes with, hey, Kelly Atwell's going to jam with us. I said, but if I joined it, it wouldn't be the Probes. It's not the Probes. And so he goes, oh, okay. And we go back in and jam a few songs, and then I take off. And then the next night he calls me. He goes, hey, we talked after you left, and we're going to start a band, and we're gonna pick songs for you and your voice. So I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? He goes, all 80s hair metal. You can sing all that stuff. And he goes, you can hit the high notes, and you got the growly voice, and you know, we can do AC/DC and Twisted Sister, and you know, he's naming off all these 80s bands, and they're all bands I love.
Right.
You know, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, sounds great, but this isn't going to go over. Nobody wants to hear that stuff. Wrong. Oh man, was I wrong? I was way wrong. Like, it got popular quick, and we started playing all over. You know, Eric helped us out, helped us get some shows, and I think that got our foot in the door. And you know, I think playing for Gene and being in High Voltage.
Yeah, your foot was already in the door, bud.
Really made impact. You know, with them being the Probes, and then me joining with them, and then it becoming Rock of Ages. It was like, okay, you know, and Rock of Ages went for like almost 7 years.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, it was a really good run. And we had some great times. It was a really, really fun band and fun songs and all that. And then, Ronnie and I, there's just, I don't know what it is. There's some kind of electrical connection, He's like Eric.
Brothers from another.
Like him and Eric, when I was in the hospital, they were there. Every moment they could be there, they were there. I mean, Ronnie would come in and play guitar for me in the hospital all night long.
Oh, wow.
Till I would wake up, and I hear the guitar. I wake up and hear the guitar, and the next morning he'd be gone, and my nurse would go, "Your friend sat in here and played guitar with you till 5 in the morning."
Wow.
She's like, he just kept playing, put washcloth on your head, and just doted on you the whole time.
That's awesome.
And he and I just have this, we're we're musical soulmates. Our harmonies are, amazing, and we both just have a great time, And so when Rock of Ages kind of went south, we tried to do a couple versions of Rock of Ages with different people, but it really didn't work. And then we did Kelly's Heroes with Al Martinez, and then that was probably one of the last things we did. And then I got really sick, and I can remember the week that I went in to go see my doctor on a Tuesday, or no, maybe it was a Thursday, and he said before they were letting me go in, see them, adjust my meds, and then they would let me go for like 3 months, and then check me out again and let me go for 3 months, and that lasted for like 6 years. So finally, when I went in, he goes, I was gonna let you go for another 3 months. He goes, but you're gonna get really sick. And I said, no, I'm gonna be fine. I said, I'll just keep taking my meds, watch what I eat, stay away from sodium, watch my fluid intake. I'll be good. He goes, you're not gonna be good. He goes, I want you to come back on Sunday. So it was a whole nother week. And I called Eric and said, hey, would there be any way you could take me to the hospital? They're gonna admit me on Sunday. And he said, sure. Well, he was doing something with his work, so he had Christine come to my house in Los Osos and pick me up. I couldn't carry my bag from my bedroom to my living room, which is probably only, 15 yards, if that. Couldn't even carry my bag. She had to carry my bag to her car, got into their car. I could barely breathe the whole time I was driving up there with you, huh?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was bad.
Good.
So they dropped me off in the emergency room, and they admitted me into this unit called the PACU unit. And you're just in a cubicle like this, you're just in a little room, and there's curtains on this side, and there's a pull curtain here, and there's a hallway right here, and the hallway is always on and always going. Nurses are going back and forth, the lights are bright, and there's no sleeping. It's a unit mainly for if you have a hernia, and they fix it, they keep you for a night, and then you go home the next day. Well, I got stuck in there for a week.
Oh boy.
And so I'm in there, and I'm like, by the end of the week, I'm saying to my sister, I'm getting delirious. I haven't slept since I've been here. I'm freaking out right now. I'm starting to lose my mind. I said, I got to get out of here. So my doctor shows up finally, and he's like, what are you doing in here? And I said, I don't know. I told him 5 times I should be in the cardiac unit, but they haven't done anything. So he steps out and gets on his phone. I can hear him talking to somebody, and he walks back in. He's like, transport's coming to get you. So they take me up to this room, and you get in there when you're in the cardiac unit, and you walk in, and I got 2 huge bay windows, gigantic, overlooking the whole valley and the campus. You look to one side, and it's a wall like this. It's like wood panels. It looks like a hotel room.
Wow.
Big, a TV screen that big. It's huge.
Probably the size of this room right here.
Yeah,
Probably it was huge.
It was big. And then the other side is just, it's all about business. That's just all the machines and all the, so like if you look on this side, you're like, oh, this is cool. You look on that side, you're like, oh, this isn't cool.
Don't look that way.
Yeah, well, you're not looking that way because
Exactly.
So I get in there and they keep me for like 2.5 months. And at first, now mind you, the food at Stanford, it's pretty good. It's actually really good for a hospital. It's like one of my favorite meals was the braised short ribs with mashed potatoes and broccoli, and it was banging, just so good.
Nice.
And what's cool about it, unlike any hospital, I've been in a lot of hospitals. Unlike any hospital I've ever been in, you can order from 6 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night.
Wow.
8:55. Yeah, give me a brownie and a whole milk, please. They'll bring you a brownie and a whole milk at 8:55. And so the food's really good. And I thought, you know what? I got full cable. I had the ESPN Plus, so I could watch my UFC fights. So that was cool. I got to watch my Bonanza in the morning and my, all those shows. Right. And it was kind of like, well, I'm here. It's, this is what it is. I could walk around, have my headphones that Eric bought me. Eric bought me some nice headphones so I could walk around the halls, get some exercise and smell some of the flowers and hang out with the nurses.
Look at some of the chicks.
Yeah. And so it was okay. It was like, this isn't bad. I'd watch the helicopters come in on the heliport, and every time I would think, is that my heart and liver? Is that, or are they saving somebody else? Who are they saving now?
Because you were up there waiting.
Yeah.
See, he had to, it was like.
I waited for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
So, but then towards the end, 2.5 months in one of those beds just wrecked me.
So when you went up there, it was understood that you were waiting.
They weren't letting me go. If I was to leave, they'd go, okay, then you're off the list.
Yeah.
So you were waiting for a heart
and liver.
And a liver at the same time.
Yeah. So, I waited, but the beds were wrecking me. Like if I really just relax, like right here, I'm relaxed. I'm not. My head is tilted over, and I can't seem to get it. I've been working on it, trying to get it back. My whole body, I was like this.
Yeah, you're a lot better than he was.
I've been working and trying to get my posture back. But when you're laying in a bed for 11 months like this, like Eric said, every time he saw me, this is how I was in bed, with tubes sticking out of me. Mm. So when you're that long, I woke up with this hand all, and I was like, what's going on? I said, did I have a stroke? And they're like, no, you didn't have a stroke, it's atrophy. Yeah. You've been in the bed so long that your muscles shrunk, and that's your tendons shrinking up with it. So I had a lady come in, she's like a therapist from bone and muscle and tendon, and she put this board on my bed, and I had to put my hand was like this, I had to put my hand on it. She'd pry my hand out, and then she'd mash it down. And ooh, man, did that hurt. And I had to, she had come in like twice a day and mash my hand down and hold it down. And then I had to, every day, had to use like a squeezing ball and use these different things to get it back. And at first I was like, oh, I don't want to do that today. And she's like, do you want your hand back? You want your hand back, you're going to do it.
For perspective, Kel, I think we better. I think you sort of missed. I think people understand that you were born this way. You were a twin, and I don't think people really understand that you've been battling this your whole life. Did you mention that at the beginning?
I don't believe I did.
No, you should go back and explain.
So I was born. I'm a twin sister who was Lori.
We love you.
And Lori. A lot of people know who she is or have met her through text or online or whatever. And she's my twin. And truly, not to get religious on anybody, but she is the angel that the Lord has sent to me. And I didn't always know why she was in my life, but now I do, because without her I would have never made it. There were so many times I wanted to give up, and she's like, unfortunately, I signed my life into her hands and said, you're my executor. You say what goes. If I start to go out, you're going to tell them whether to keep me or shock me back or do whatever they need to do. And at the end, I was telling her, I don't want to do this. Let me go. And she's like, nope, not letting you go. You pray to your God. You pray to your God, and He'll bring you through this. She goes, but I'm not doing a thing. You're going to do it. You're either going to make it or you're not going to make it, but I'm not making that judgment. So I have to thank her.
Well, she it turned her life upside down.
Oh yeah, she's
there
still not working yet.
Yeah,
she's cleaning. She's a school teacher, but she's cleaning houses right now because the school board doesn't know if they want to hire her back because she's been gone for so long that now they're saying, well, we could hire somebody else and pay them less, and we don't have to, So the whole thing kind of screwed her, and I feel really bad about it because. I felt guilty many a times while I was in the hospital, But anyway, to get back to what I was first talking about is that I was born with a syndrome called the Holt-Oram syndrome, Holtoram. And what it does is when you're a fetus, it affects as you're growing as a fetus, it starts to affect you from the heart at first. So I was born with atrial septal defect and then 2 holes in my heart.
Yeah.
So my heart wasn't working, but yet it also had 2 holes in it. So by the time I was 3, I had my first open heart surgery.
Wow.
And they patched those 2 holes. Since then, I've had 11 pacemakers and, 4 cardioversions and oblations and all these medical, all this medical mumbo jumbo that, nobody wants to go through. It's not fun, and especially as a kid. So it starts with the heart, but then it leads out to your arms. So my arms, they don't straighten. This is as straight as my arm gets. My arm doesn't palm, so I can't palm. That's as far as my hand goes. My wrist doesn't turn. My wrist doesn't have full turning function. My hand doesn't have complete closing function. It never did. This hand, luckily, I had opposing hand to grab something. This hand could go like this. This hand was like this. So whatever I wanted to grab, it was like a pincher, not a thumb. So they took this finger off and pulled the other one and made it into a thumb where this is opposable now and I can use it. And at first, when I was a kid, I hated it. I cursed it. And I cursed the Lord. I was like, dude, what are you doing to me? Why have you forsaken me in this way? If every man's created equal, where did I lose out? Because I'm not understanding this. So later on down the line, when I learned how to sing and I knew that was my blessing, then that's when I went, oh, thanks. That's what you gave me. That's where my blessings come in. And my blessings have come to me many times in my life. I just didn't realize it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but the syndrome affects your hands, affects your arms. This arm doesn't have a muscle here. I don't have this bicep. My shoulders drop off in the back, so I don't have these rear shoulder muscles, plus some tendons back there. So my shoulders hurt a lot. When I was a kid, my shoulders would just kill me. What's the only thing that's cool about it, not that it's cool, but it doesn't affect you from the waist down. So I have no affection from, I'm still working. So, but, it was just one of those unfortunate things that I got dealt with. But
let me stop you there. And we'll hear a little bit more, but let's hit another commercial break right now.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.
Okay, so we're back with Kelly. So go ahead and continue from where you're at right then.
So, that's just the effects that syndrome, gives to you. And it's just one of those things, and I think that, for here on out with my, the double transplant, being in the hospital, it's one of those things where I'd like to be a spokesperson for transplants. I'd like to be a spokesperson for donation of organs. So when I was in the hospital and they finally came in, and the first time they came in, they said, "Hey, we got a heart and liver for you," and I was excited. Now this is the second time they had offered me one. One, they offered me one, when I was at home, but they took that one away 45 minutes later.
Wow.
Then I got into the hospital, they offered me one, and then they took that one away from me like 6 hours later. So then they offered me the second one, or actually the third one, and they took me in and they put these, I posted them online. They're like these big horseshoe nails. They're this big, easily, that big. They're long and they're curved. And they take them and what they do is they basically hook to machines that pump the blood that keeps your upper extremities and your brain going. And then they have two down here. So they stick these big stents in you, and that's what circulates your blood while they're working on you, right? So I'm wide awake. They put in a little local on each side, and they're like, "Okay, we're putting in this local." I'm like, "Well, are you gonna put?" And they got this thing in their hand, and they're getting ready to stick it in my neck. And I'm saying to them, "Well, when are you gonna put me out?" And they're like, "We don't put you out at this stage."
Oh man.
I'm like, "Dude," he goes, "We gave you some local, you shouldn't feel it." And I'm like, "What do you mean I shouldn't feel it?" He goes, "Well, you're gonna feel a little pressure." He goes, "It's gonna sting a little bit, and then you're gonna feel a little pressure." And he goes, "And you might feel it when it's going into your artery." And I said, "Okay." He don't know what he's talking about.
Oh man.
Yeah, I just laid there and was just like, ugh. And
Jeez.
it was pretty savage.
Wow.
And so they stick these things in me, and they start doing, if you've ever had an operation, they put these tents over you and get you all covered up, so they can work on you. So there's no, you're not pushing out any germs or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And the guy finishes up and he says, "Hey, I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to administer your meds, and we're going to count from 10 backwards, and we'll see you when you get out." And I said, "Okay, cool." A second later, the surgeon walks up, moves the thing out of the way, and looks down at me and goes, "Hey, Kelly, we're not doing this."
Oh,
and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just looked at both of them," and he goes, "They don't look good. They look dry and they look brown, and and when he said to me, they look like bad pieces of meat," I just started crying. I'm laying there and I'm crying.
Yeah, that was a low
I got
point.
like two
It
IVs
was
in
already
this
in there.
arm. I got 2 IVs in this arm. I got 1 IV in this arm. I got 2 stents here and 2 stents here, and I'm just laying there. And I'm like, I start crying. I'm like, and he didn't even. I mean, great doctor, and I have a picture with him. He's a great guy. He just said that and then walked away. So I'm just laying there and I'm like crying, and then I just thought, wait,
You just saved your
this
life.
is the blessing.
Yeah.
This is the blessing. This is, not to get religious or anything, but this is the Lord going, nope, not for you today. You got to go through that BS you just went through. It sucked, but you know what? Man up and wait till the next time. And that's what I did. And then the next time, this was crazy. The next time they show up in my room and they're like, hey, it's like 7:30 in the morning. And my sister had just walked in. We were sitting there talking. And they go, hey, we got a heart. And this is last year Mother's Day. They walk in there like, hey, we got a heart and a liver, and this is a go. This is go time. We're going to be back at 10:30 in the morning, like in a few hours. We come back and we're going to come get you. And I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, swear to you, this is it. You're getting a transplant today. And I was like, yeah, I started crying. Me and my sister are crying. We're like, oh my God, this is the day. So 10 o'clock rolls around and they come walking through the door. And I just look at my sister and I'm like, my whole hopes just went. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Shouldn't you be in the operating room getting ready? They're like, oh, we're ready. They're like, oh, we're ready. There's nobody here for transport. It's Mother's Day and a Sunday. They're like, we're here to pick you up. So my 2 surgeons came into my room. That's unheard of.
These are Stanford surgeons,
Stanford surgeons.
You don't do that
This
kind
guy's
of
making
stuff.
$800,000 a year, and he's coming to transport me to my surgery. And in an hour, he's going to be pulling my heart out.
Damn.
And I tell you what, Sean, it was like the 2 Stooges, bro. It was hilarious. They were bumping me into the walls, and they were laughing. They're like, this isn't what we do. We're laughing. I got them telling my sister, take video. She's taking video and pictures. We laughed all the way till we got to the doors where she couldn't go any longer. And I gave her a high five, and then that was the last time I seen her until I woke up. And that was when stuff got real. You know, it was like I woke up and I woke up in my room and I was like, whoa. And what was weird was the whole time of my surgery, I'll try to make this quick. It went dark, and then it was an old TV set. It was transistor TV sets with the knobs, right? And it was a snowy screen. And I could hear the Dow Jones. I could hear like little voices, and then the screen went, and it was a picture of me like on my big wheel as a kid. And then each frame would change, and it would go, and that's when I knew that when I could hear the sound. That's when, after a while, after a couple screens, that's when I knew that the screen was going to change. And it went through my whole life. I saw my whole life, all different parts of my life. And then it got to the last part where it was me and my mom at her house on a Sunday watching the races and barbecuing. And that was the last one. And I could hear, and all I was saying was, no, don't go. And boom. I woke up and I was in my room. And I was like, whoa, was it a dream? You know? And then I realized, oh, I'm okay. I was hooked to some wires and stuff. You know, they had me hooked up. I had a couple tubes sticking out of me. But I sat up in bed, and then I went to go kind of move myself to the side. And the second I took my weight off my bed, my alarm went off. And nurses came running in. You gotta lay down, you gotta lay down. Okay, I laid down. I never got up for over 6 months.
Oh my God.
So what happened was I laid down. 3 days after that, I got a major chest infection inside the cavity, underneath my heart. So to open me up, clean me all out inside, close me back up. 3 days later, I get another major fever. Take a bunch of blood. Shit, he still got the infection. They go back in, clean it out, but this time they say, you know, if we close him up and the infection comes back, we can't open him up again. He won't make it. So they decide to leave me open. I have a picture of it. It's savage. I'm open by 2.5, 3 inches and about 4.5 to 6 inches long, my whole cavity. And my sister said for 2 months, they would wheel me out every 2 days and take me into the operating room and spray my chest out. So they sprayed it all out, closed it back up, and they're like, okay, he's good. Now, mind you, I'm on a ventilator, but I'm only on a ventilator because when they're doing that, that's what they need to do. And then they need to leave me on it for a few days just to make sure everything's cool. A few days after that, I get a MRSA infection underneath the skin. Because hospitals no matter what anybody says, are nasty places. They're dirty. Hospitals are dirty. The least time you can spend in a hospital is the best, because they're not clean, no matter what they do. And so they had to cut my skin open, peel it off my sternum, and clean out underneath it. Then put it all back together and stapled it all back up. And then they were like, okay, he's good. I don't know, maybe a week, I get a major lung infection.
Oh, God.
And I am on the ventilator now for the next, I think, for the whole time I was on the ventilator was 8 months. And at one point, you know, I had a tracheostomy, so I can't write. I mean, I can't talk. And I got a tube going down my throat to help me breathe. I can't talk, and I'm trying to write on a whiteboard. But Eric saw me. I was like this.
He couldn't write.
I couldn't write. I was
shaking so bad.
I was shook so bad. Like I could not control my body movements whatsoever. And so connecting with people, and when I woke up, get this, when I woke up, I'm also deaf. I'm deaf. When I wake up, when I finally wake up, I'm deaf. I can't talk to anybody, and I can't hear. I'm like deaf, and I'm trying to figure out why.
I wasn't even aware of that, Kelly.
I'm trying to figure out why, and come to find out, they said that I laid on my back for so long that the wax in my ears melted down and covered my earlobes. And they pulled a piece of wax out of my ear that was as big as my pinky and black and brown out of this ear. And then once they pulled that out, they were like, oh yeah, your ears are clogged. So every day they would come in and put in this ear stuff, and I could feel my ears just draining down my face, and they'd come in and clean me up. And you know, that was what happened there. But then just getting stuck on the ventilator, I was trying to communicate with them. And I can remember one time when I said to my sister, it was weird. My sister was able to understand almost everything that I was trying to lip. Like I had this tube in my mouth, and I'm going, okay, but for some weird way, she understood what I was trying to say, and she would retort it over to the doctors and say, so I said to her, how long am I going to be on this? How long am I going to be here? And they just looked at me and said, we don't know. You could be here for forever. So I had this therapist, this occupational therapist, come in to do my breathing treatments. And they had this machine called the ELP or the EMP or something, and it was this roll around. I hated it. It was this roll around thing that was on a stand, and they would bring it in, and they had these hoses, and it was like, and they could control too, or they could just it pound you, and it would pound this stuff into your lungs, and it hurt so bad. And I used to deny it. Like the first time I had it, I was like, no, I don't want it anymore. No. And when you're in the hospital, you can deny your meds, you can deny whatever you want. They'll be like, okay, you don't want it, we won't do it. You know, we're here to fix you, but you don't want it, then we won't do it. So I kept denying it, but this guy kept coming in, he said, if you keep denying this, he goes, 2 of my people said that you denied them. And this guy was cool as a fan, he was cool, you know. He goes, if you keep denying this, you're gonna be here. You're gonna be on that ventilator for the rest of your life. You'll never get off. He goes, and I got freaking letters from people. I got 75 letters. I had so many letters from people on my walls. I put my letters up on my wall, all these letters that people sent me. I think you even sent me one. I had so many letters that I ran out of room on the walls. And when my doctors came in, they were like, you gotta be somebody, because we've never seen somebody with so many letters. You know, so it was one of those things where he goes, I'm reading all your letters, you're special to people. He goes, you're a fighter. You fought all your life, you gotta keep fighting. He goes, I know you can do this. And you know, I thought about it, and then I thought about my sister, and I thought about my bro, you know, and I thought about the people that have been there for me, thought about my 2 daughters, and thought, you know what, I can't give up. I can't, you know. my daughter Shea, how could I explain that to her? You know, that I'm just going to give up. Because she was calling me and texting me all the time. You know, it was like, I can't do that. So, and I've never been one to give up. I've always been, you know, one to do it. It's like, I'm a doer. I perceive to achieve. Everything that I do in my life, I've already seen it. I've already done it. I just have to make it happen now. It's not a if, it's a when, you know? And so that's how I looked at it. And so I took them 2 times a day, then 3 times a day, then 4 times a day, then 5 times a day. And finally, after a while, they're like, hey, we don't have the resources to be in here every 5 minutes to give you a treatment, dude. I'm like, well, I want off this thing. And they're like, well, you're working on it. And then I finally got off the ventilator, but I still had the trach in my throat. And they're like, you know, now you got to work at getting the trach out. And that was rough business. Because what it is your lungs. You get that out of your lungs, you know, get that out of your throat. And now your lungs are working on their own. There were a couple times where I would lay there at night, and it's some freaking dark times. Where there was one night, my sister had left. This is the darkest time, and this is the worst. And I can't believe I thought this. But I laid there one night, my sister said, I gotta go home, I gotta take care of the animals. She has horses and goats and dogs, and she got a big 86-acre ranch. So I gotta go home, take care of the ranch, I gotta take care of the animals. I said, okay, it's cool. But after she left, I started thinking to myself, and I'm on this machine and I'm stuck there and I'm starting to kind of feel sorry for myself. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. You know, so I'm hitting my button. I can't breathe. So they come in and they're like, hey, you're fine. You're fine. The machine's breathing for you. You're not going to die. You're fine. Well, my mind goes to thinking, she's just waiting for me to die. So she's not gonna watch me die. She's just gonna take off and wait for the phone call. Hey, Kelly didn't make it. Then she can go, fuck, now I don't have to do that. You know, because she was there every day. But that's a dark thought for somebody that's been taking care of me for, you know, the last year. And I feel bad. And I've apologized to her, and I apologize to her now. It's one of those things where, you know, when you're in that situation, you know, I was talking about Eric about this today, saying that when your mortality is questioned by whoever it is or whatever it is, you know, you're stuck in a car wreck and there's nobody around and you think you're going to die, you're bleeding to death. I don't know about anybody else. The first thing I start doing is I start praying. You know, I start praying for my salvation, for myself, and pray for my loved ones that they don't hurt because I'm gone, you know. And when it gets to that point, that's a dark time, you know. Yeah. And so that's rough. But you know, I got through it. There were a couple times I woke up to people in my room and I was like, "What's going on?" And I would look down and they had these big patches on me. They're like, "Well, you flatlined and we came in here and put these on you. We thought you were going to go out, but we're just about to shock you back, but you opened up your eyes." And I was like, "Get out of here." They're like, "No, look on your chest." And I was like,
thought I saw him.
Whoa.
One time I was in there, we and Ronnie were in there, and we just drove in and we got there and we walked in the room, and this was probably one of the darkest. He was struggling, and you know, we walked in there and he can't talk. He's like trying to whisper. We're like trying to, and I can tell he's frustrated. He's you know, and then his eyes just rolled back and they started, you know, it started shaking, and we called the nurse in, and they had, you know, it was like we saw that 3 times. We were up there at different times, and every time, like, you know, I walked out of there bawling with Ronnie, and Ronnie was too. We're like, is he gonna make it? You know, I mean, people don't, I think, understand, and they really can't unless you have someone. But he went through is maybe 400 people on this planet. From what I gather, has had both these. He still needs a kidney transplant, people. So, you know, But he's got it.
That's the crazy thing is that I woke up on dialysis. Like all that other stuff that was going on with me, the trach and everything else. That's a given. I look over and there's a huge machine and I'm like, what's that? And they're like, oh, that's your dialysis machine. And then I realize, oh, son of a bitch, I got a port in my shoulder. I didn't realize I had a port in my shoulder. I had a port in my shoulder doing dialysis. And I was like, okay, so why am I on dialysis? Well, you're on, they thought it was going to be 23 hours, but it was more like 18. They said you're on the table for 18 hours. And, for as much blood as we were trying to give you, your kidneys took a hit.
And his heart, was it only was it 2%?
You have an ejection fraction.
Yeah.
My ejection fraction right now is between 95 and 98. When I went in there, my ejection fraction was 21 to 28. So that was what my ejection fraction was.
He would have been breathing.
That's where your heart beats. So it beats in, and when it beats out, it sends your blood out. And that's the fraction of percentage. What's the percentage that blood is being pumped out? So it was only at 21%, which, they say that most people, you can't truly properly function under 50%. And that was at 21. So, and it's weird because for as much as I struggled at home or struggled to ride my bike with my daughter's 4 years old and I'm riding my bike behind her like, and she's just jetting down the street. It's like I knew I was having problems. And it's one of those things where it was weird because I could get on stage and I don't know if it was adrenaline or what, but I was still performing, which is kind of freaky.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I got video of a lot of shows and I'm like, I can remember when I was standing back of that drum set and just thinking to myself, how in the hell am I doing this? But I was, So yeah, I was on dialysis. I'm still on dialysis. And I'm on the kidney transplant list, and I'm on the top of the list, which I almost feel kind of bad. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed. I almost feel kind of bad because I go to dialysis every day and I talk to people there, and they're all really good people, and I feel bad for them because you can, compared to me, there's a lot of them that are really sick. They're really sick people. Like when I got home, I was using a walker. I ditched that thing the first week. It was like, I'm working this out.
Nice.
But I go in there and there's people that are my age or younger, and they're using walkers and they're really struggling. And I've asked a couple of them, do you think you'll ever get a transplant? Nope. And it's like, oh man, if somebody said, hey, you have to be on dialysis for the rest of your life, I'd go, okay, take that pill and swallow it. Don't whine. Don't complain. Be grateful. Shut up and deal with it. Okay? Trudge on. That's what we do. We don't whine, cry, or bitch. But am I grateful? Yeah, I'm grateful, and I feel so blessed. And all I really have to do is gain more weight. I got to gain more weight and get stronger.
I tried to give him a few pounds.
Yeah, we were discussing that today, but I was like, I don't know how you can do it.
over.
Can't figure that out.
Yeah, so gain weight and get a little stronger. And once I do that, they'll take me in. But unfortunately, like right now, I want to sing, but my voice, I work out every day at home, singing on my own, and it's just not working. My vocal isn't working the way, there was no way I could pull off. I might be able to pull off Highway to Hell, but anything else, couldn't pull off anything from the Blackout, from Back in Black or anything like that right now. It's like my voice thins out once I get going, and like I sang for Donna Lou's wedding, and everybody was like, "Dude, you sounded great," and I think I've sat in with Soundhouse, and oh, you sounded great, but I know where I'm at vocally, and it's nowhere where I need to be. Like I said, I'm either gonna be on top or I'm not gonna be. You know what I mean? I want to be one of the best around, or I'm not going to be. You know, if that means that, you know, I go here in another week or two to go see a throat specialist to look at my vocal cords and make sure everything's good, and then I'm going to go to a speech pathologist and work on strengthening my vocal cords and see if there's some kind of, they were even talking about some kind of, not antibiotics, but some kind of steroid they could give me to kind of bump up my vocal cords. So I don't know, but
One step at a time, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I've accomplished a lot. I've only been home.
God, yes.
Only been home for right now 2 months, and what's today? The 9th.
The 10th or something.
10th.
Yeah.
So 2 months and 10 days. So that's not bad.
Well, let's talk about a fundraiser event that's going to be happening.
So we got the fundraiser at the Poorhouse.
I believe that's going to be in August 11th, a Sunday.
Yep.
It's going to be at the Poorhouse.
Yep.
Eric, do you have those slides that you can put up and let everybody know what the information is? So,
Becky, Neely, we love you so
yes,
much.
Becky has really gone above and beyond.
One too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Becky Neely, for any of the donations or any type of contact you want to make, she's the best. There's her phone number and her email address. Go ahead and slide. So what they're also going to have is a Amazon custom wish list. And they created it for items to collect to make their baskets and their silent auction. You can go to Amazon.com under wish list and type in Kelly Atwell Benefit in August 2024, California. And if you want to write down the Amazon address, that's there as well. And also is any type of gift card. So if you're a individual that wants to get a gift card from Michael's, Walmart, Bevmo, Target, those are much appreciated. But also if you have local gift cards from local businesses, those are very appreciated as well. The fundraiser itself is going to be $25 per person. There's going to be some VIP tables. I believe 4 people for VIP at $150 a table. All these are going to go real quick, so don't be bashful about getting these. Make sure you get your tickets as soon as you can. There's going to be 2 silent auctions. One will end at 3:30. One will end at 6. There's also going to be raffle tickets for $1 each, or $20 for 25 of them. Tickets will be drawn throughout the day. There's going to be full of music for the day too. There's going to be multiple bands: Rusted Stone, Donna Lou Band, Ecstatic with Kelly and Al Martinez, Soundhouse, Mean Gene Band, and the Jammies. So it's going to be a full day of music, which everybody loves that. And then if you're hungry, of course, the delicious tacos by Benji will be available to purchase.
Yeah, Benji. Woo.
So, yeah,
Thank you, Benji.
It's going to be a great event.
And Leslie and Jake.
Yes, without a doubt.
Poorhouse.
Yeah, the Poorhouse is
August 11th, baby, 1 p.m. You got to get out there.
Thank you all so very much. I can't thank everyone enough. All the people who have been with me this whole journey. You make me want to cry, and thank you all so much.
You are a true inspiration, man. I tell you what, I don't think many people would have had the willpower and the faith to go what you've gone through. And I just want to say personally, man, you're an inspiration, so.
Well, thank
so you're a warrior, and everything that you've been through, is just amazing, man. So just, keep the positive vibe going. So your mental, state and your attitude is just amazing, man. So, from my heart to you, man, just keep it going, man, because, you're not done. You're going to be back there singing. You're going to be doing all the stuff that you love, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm hoping. I'm working on it. Slowly but surely, like you said.
Yeah, for sure, man. It'll happen. So again, make sure everybody goes out, get the tickets to the Poorhouse. There's a website also that sells the tickets. get those VIPs. And if you feel like donating, hit Becky up. Make sure you call her, send her an email. Get, any type of thing that you think you might be able to donate, as small as it may be to something enormous. Feel free to help out this cause. It's a great cause. Kelly has been in the music scene for this area for numerous years. People, just know him and know him from music, and he is just a utmost straight up good person overall in general. But I know most people know you from music. But let's make this fundraiser and benefit go off the charts.
That's for sure.
Can I add one more thing?
Of course, yeah.
I'd just like to say, when you're filling out your driver's license, or you're filling out your registration for your car, or anything like that, remember to check that box for donation. You hate to say it, but you can't take it with you, and one life can save, one person can save 80 lives, and if you could save 80 lives, that'd be pretty cool. And just remember that there are people out there that need it when you're not using it, and that's pretty cool if people can do that. If everybody did that, people like me and other people that need it wouldn't be waiting, 6 years like I did for a transplant. So check those boxes and become a donor. It's important and it's a beautiful thing. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and also, guys, if you can find at the Pour House or Sound House. You go and you find the flyer. Do we have the flyer? We can hold up, and then if you could find that flyer.
I think I gave this to you too, Eric. If you have the flyer.
I think I have posted one of those already. But share it and invite people. Let's make August 11th, which is real close to Kelly's birthday.
The 13th.
Which is the 13th. So
Okay.
we probably should have marketed that too. But I think we're going to have plenty of people. So, but you want to get your tickets soon because we're going to sell this place out. Poorhouse isn't huge, but if you can share and tell your friends and anything you guys can do to help donate for everybody, because it's not, like I said, the financial burden hasn't been even. The first benefit was very successful, but unfortunately, as we all know, it's cost a lot more money than
unfortunately
than one benefit. We're talking millions and millions of dollars, and then benefits. I know Kelly's sister, they weren't going to help. I don't know what's going on. Last time I talked to her, they were going to not cover most of her expenses, and so that we could, if you have the means and you could do it, man.
Yes, for sure.
That's all. We're not begging. We're just asking if you can, and share it, and let's have a great August 11th at the Poorhouse, right?
For sure.
The Kelsta.
And remember that this party is for everyone. It's not just a party for me. It's a party for everybody who thought about me, who prayed about me, who pitched in to the fundraisers, who went to the fundraisers, all the bands and all the people that had anything to do with all those fundraisers, putting them together. It's a lot of work, and this is a party for everyone. So it's not just a party for me. Let's all just celebrate life and how beautiful it is.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Well, let's hit our last commercial, and then when we come back, we'll wrap up.
What's up, North County? Nate Santos here, owner of Santos Bros Plumbing. You might recognize me with my dancing horses at local events such as the Atascadero Tamale Festival, Templeton 4th of July, and Paso Pioneer Day. I am now available for all your home plumbing service and repair needs, from minor drips and drops to emergency leaks and clogs. For the best plumbing service, call Santos Bros Plumbing, pipe wranglers to the rescue.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
Well, thanks for hanging out today. And we'd like to thank Kelly and Eric for coming in as well. And today for our sponsors, let's thank them as well. We have Atascadero, Visit Atascadero. We have 805 Customs, Santos Brothers, Escalar Wines, Wine Traveler Hideaway, Suprema Meat Market, Remax, North County, Junk Removal, Airflow Filter System, MGP, Coating, Hanson Enterprises, Story Termite and Pest, Kennedy Club Fitness, and Bourgeon Auto Center. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
And Deanna.
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We are all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
What's up, North County? Nate Santos here, owner of Santos Bros Plumbing. You might recognize me with my dancing horses at local events such as the Atascadero Tamale Festival, Templeton 4th of July, and Paso Pioneer Day. I am now available for all your home plumbing service and repair needs, from minor drips and drops to emergency leaks and clogs. For the best plumbing service, call Santos Bros Plumbing, pipe wranglers to the rescue.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande. or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.